What's up, y'all? This is your girl, Megan. Welcome back to the Hood Astro Queen, to all of my returning subscribers. But if this is your first time joining me on today, go ahead and hit that subscribe button because you know you want to. So today I wanted to report on the tragic passing of Mr. Nipsey Hussle. So he was a rapper who was gunned down today in front of his Los Angeles shop. And I'm not going to lie, I was not a big Nipsey Hussle fan just because I never really listened to his music. So it's not that I didn't think he was talented, because I've heard a lot of rave reviews, especially as it pertains to his most recent album, that Victory Lap album. But I just never really got around to just sitting down and listening to his body of work. So I'm not going to be fake and just do all that extraness that a lot of people tend to do when somebody transitions unexpectedly. However, because I am still a human at the end of the day, to learn of him passing, especially in such a vile, inhumane manner, is very sad, right? It's very disheartening. It's definitely shocking, and I think a lot of people just throughout the rap community in general are shocked. People are highly upset, and most importantly, I really do feel for Lauren London. Like, I feel for her, I feel for her family, I feel for his family, and yeah, like you really don't really know what to say during times like this, or at least I don't, because the right thing to say is like, oh, my condolences, my heart goes out, I'll keep y'all in my prayers. But in reality, like, that's not gonna fix anything. Like, that's not gonna change the reality of the fact that somebody just lost their father, a woman just lost the love of her life, a mother just lost her son, and so on and so forth. So it's kind of like, I always just feel helpless and awkward during times of death. Even when it comes to like my personal life and my personal circle, I really don't know what to tell people when somebody very important dies, or when a death hits very close to home. You know, all you can really do is just be there. And given that he's a celebrity, it's just like, you know, this sucks. It sucks. However, when the news first broke that he was shot, I instantly hopped online and pulled up his natal chart. And I was just like, you know what, just me being me, I was like, I am curious just to see what's going on with his chart, what he has in his chart, and to even take a look at his transit. And I found some very, very interesting stuff that I wanted to share with y'all tonight. So let's go ahead and get started. So Nipsey Hussle was born on August 15, 1985 in Los Angeles, California, making him a Leo sun and moon. Now, I don't know his time of birth, so and his moon is actually listed here as being in the 7th degree of Leo, but that could be like different, you know, just because we don't have the birth time. So I don't know if it's more so towards like the later degrees of Cancer, or if he would still technically be a Leo moon. But for all intents and purposes, we're just going to go with the Leo moon, okay? And the first thing that I saw that jumped out at me was the fact that his sun is at the 22nd degree. And that number 22 always deals with either a situation where you're controlling someone else or you're being controlled. It's the control or be controlled degree. Now, Leo is the sign of the celebrity. It's the sign of like the entertainment business. And it's worth noting that his sun is also conjoined to, like I said, his moon, but also his Mercury as well. So he has a lot of, in his Mars even. So he has some very prominent Leo energy in his chart. So keep that in mind once I get into the aspects. The second thing that popped out at me was the fact that his chart is decorated with the number 13. Like, it appears everywhere. His Mars is at the 13th degree of Leo. His Uranus is at the 13th degree of Sagittarius. His Chiron is at the 13th degree of Gemini. And his Juno, his asteroid Juno, is at the 13th degree of Libra. Now, that number 13 deals with sudden transitions. It deals with very just sporadic change, very, like I said, sudden, random changes. And a lot of times they're like violent in nature, or just they have this theme of death. It's not uncommon for people who, like I said, were born on the 13th or have very prominent 13 energy within their charts to experience lots of death in their lifetime, or just kind of have this common theme of being surrounded by death, that kind of thing, but just going through lots of sudden transformation, explosive, unexpected transformation. So that was something I found to be quite interesting as well. And on top of that, Nipsey was a Scorpio South Node. Now, I always say, and to top it off, his Pluto is conjoined to his South Node in Scorpio. And that's also at the 13th degree. And Scorpio is the sign of death, mind you. Okay, so when you add that 13th degree of unexpected change, unexpected sudden transition that can create an untimely death. But we'll, like I said, we'll get more into that once I jump to the aspects. But just to put that into perspective. And also, Scorpio South Nodes tend to attract the darker parts of life. These are people who tend to either be plugged into very, like I said, criminal, because Scorpio is the sign of criminality. They can be plugged into like criminal circles, very powerful circles, or just affluent, you know, surrounded by very like affluent people, prominent people. These could be people who come from recent past lives of being very prominent, powerful, and affluent, and can even like manipulate people, but also are prone to being manipulated as well. These people can be caught up in lots of underhanded kind of sticky situations, power plays. Like I said, especially with that his Pluto present, and you know, with his sun squaring his South Node of Scorpio and his Pluto, this actually could point towards Nipsey being controlled by like a, I don't want to say a higher power, but him being controlled by a larger force, or being used by a larger force, or people in higher powers. I always say that Sun square Pluto is the aspect that deals with scapegoating, and it also deals with, I don't like conspiracy theories, guys, but, and y'all all know, if you've seen a lot of my videos, I don't really believe in the Illuminati the way a lot of like these YouTube channels try to peddle the Illuminati theory, right? Like it's a bunch of Jay-Z and Beyonce sitting in a smoke-filled room cutting deals with the reptilian race. Like, I don't look at it in that manner. However, Sun squared Pluto does carry a lot of like Illuminati energy, just because you know, you have somebody who, I mean, because Pluto is all about domination, power, especially in Scorpio with his Scorpio South Node. Like I said, people in high places, and with his sun being at the 22nd degree of Leo, this could absolutely be his, him like even being, I guess, at the mercy of people, even within the entertainment industry. You know, or I wouldn't put that, I wouldn't rule that out, you know. So, and which is very interesting, because some people were saying that he was working on a documentary for Dr. Sebi, like it was going to be detailing the life of Dr. Sebi, and he was actually I guess he was a herbalist, a spiritual doctor who actually came up with a cure for cancer, HIV, all of those things. He was a vegan. I mean, he just really promoted this altruistic, healthy lifestyle and alternative medicine, which we all know presents a problem because it pretty much eliminates the need for big pharma. And he died, I think Dr. Sebi died maybe, I don't know, a few years ago, and there was this huge conspiracy that he was killed intentionally. A lot of people also like to go back to Lisa Left Eye Lopez, who sought out Dr. Sebi, and she was mentored by him back in the early thousands, and she was the last person to really speak his praises and bring his name into the mainstream. And y'all see what happened to her. So a lot of people are actually speculating that Nipsey Hussle found himself, just entangled in that scenario. And this is somehow the blowback from him trying to, I guess, coordinate this Mr. Sebi kind of documentary. All right. Which, looking at this aspect, and especially with his South Node conjoined to Pluto and Scorpio, to be honest with y'all, I wouldn't rule that out. Okay. And his moon, with his moon squaring his South Node in Pluto, or his South Node in Scorpio and his Pluto, this could even point towards his reputation being on the line in some type of way, or his image being controlled or carefully controlled, you know what I'm saying, in some type of way by people either in the entertainment industry or in very high affluent positions of power. And yeah, so that's very interesting. And then another thing that jumped out at me was his Mars. So he has his Jupiter at the 10th degree of Aquarius, and his Mars, remember, Mars being at the 13th degree of Leo, is opposing his Jupiter. And typically this is a black male aspect that could point towards somebody who is, like I said, very much like, I don't want to say extorted, but like people have something on them, like, and there's like this threat of something being done, some measure of action being taken if they don't comply to whatever this other party is requesting. You know what I'm saying? That Aquarius influence can deal with humanitarianism, which a lot of people did know Nipsey Hussle for being a humanitarianism or humanitarian. I can't talk tonight, excuse me. And, doing a lot of things within the community, being very active. His Mars, once again, at the 13th degree of Leo, deals with the entertainment industry and those sudden changes. So there could have even been some type of pushback as far as the things that he was doing for, just to help other people throughout the community. A sense of him overstepping his boundaries even, or the things that he really wanted to do, just on a spiritual level, conflicting with what he was getting paid to do, his livelihood, his reputation, and just even his outright like identity to the public. And there being lots of ramifications on account of that, but also there being something held over his head. And just speculation on my part with this Aquarian energy, because his midheaven is also in Aquarius as well. So it makes me wonder if there was some type of collusion even amongst his peers. And with Aquarius being the natural ruler of the 11th house that governs friends, organizations, it governs even like gangs. And of course you do have some people, once again, who are committed to the Dr. Sebi conspiracy. However, this kind of does make it plausible that there was like this could have been gang related activity, or even a situation to where he was betrayed amongst friends, or somebody within his like social group, his own network group. Like I said, this is just speculation on my part, but That's with this Aquarius, his Mars opposing his Jupiter in midheaven in Aquarius is serving me. Now, what I found to be just bone chilling was the fact that his Uranus, which is at the 13th degree of Sagittarius, is opposing his Chiron at the 13th degree of Gemini. Once again, we have that number 13, which deals with sudden, rapid transformation, even death. But this could actually point towards somebody speaking truth to power, with, you know, Sagittarius being the sign of truth. It represents truth. It represents spirituality, higher minded ideals, even politics. So this could have absolutely been politically, like, have political implications. His death could. I wouldn't put that. I wouldn't rule that out, y'all. And especially if he was propping up Dr. Sebi and trying to put Dr. Sebi, his presence into the mainstream by completing his documentary, because he would by proxy be tackling Big Pharma. So, and that's absolutely like a political issue that many people have died over. So I would not be, and that Gemini is the mouthpiece. So somebody spewing truth, calling truth, speaking truth to power. Somebody who is, like I said, is almost like even an activist, and is reinforcing that Aquarian energy in his chart also. So, hey. And I overlooked the fact that his Saturn is actually also conjoined to his South Node in Scorpio also. So you have his Saturn and his Pluto conjoined to his South Node. And it's squaring his Mercury also, which could actually implicate somebody who is trying to be silenced. His Pluto is conjoined to the fixed star Deshuba, also known as the crown of the Scorpion. And this can bring about violent death, right? And with, such a close aspect to his Saturn, this can even denote somebody who has very, like, low life or just immoral associates, which reinforces this energy signature of him being surrounded by, like, nefarious people who are, like, probably, like, behind the scenes in higher levels of power. And then also with his Mercury squaring all of the planets in his South Node, this can even deal with him, like I said, being in situations to where he's speaking out against the best interests of these said people. So that's definitely something to think about. And looking at his transits, today Uranus is opposing his Pluto, okay? His Pluto, which is conjoined to his South Node at the 13th degree of Scorpio. Like I said, that energy signature of sudden transformations taking place is reinforced as Uranus is literally, like, all about sudden change, okay? And death is just another version of transformation. It's the ultimate transformation, but, I thought this was very, very interesting. So when I saw that, and this was before the news had finally, or, even come out as far as him actually being declared deceased, I was like, oh, he's not going to make it. He's not going to make it. He's not. And then with Uranus forming a trine to his Neptune, and let me see, what was his Neptune in? His Neptune is in Capricorn, the first degree of Capricorn. There's absolutely a cover-up going on. Okay, there's some type of conspiracy taking place. Neptune is all about conspiracies and deceit, secrets, like I said, collusions even. So things aren't really as they appear to be for that very reason. So, I mean, he had a lot of things just in his chart that I was just like, it's very interesting. And although, once again, I am no conspiracy theorist, but it did lead a lot of, it supported certain stories that I've been hearing circulating. So y'all drop down in the comment section below. Let me know what you think is going on. And Furthermore, just tell the people that you love them today, okay? Because you really never know. You never know, all right? And make sure you practice unconditional self-love so that you can love others. And until next time, I'll holla.